Hello, everyone. My ongoing action research project is titled Technology Use in the Elementary Music Classroom, an action research study of fourth grade unit test scores. In my classroom, I was seeing students who were bored and unengaged in what I was trying to teach them. As Casey, one of my references, said, in a world of 30-minute sitcoms, Sony PlayStations, Game Boy Mania, and virtual reality, chalkboard presentations from the 19th century just don't meet the educational needs of 21st century students. As a music teacher, I have the unique opportunity to help my students gain these 21st century skills, such as creativity, critical thinking, and collaboration. As Burns said, the more I thought about this, the more I realized that I was hindering ways to differentiate my instruction and reach every student in the class. As music teachers, this should be one of our goals. So, how could I deny my students another way to learn and appreciate music? I could not, and decided to explore music technology. Like Burns, I found myself needing to shake up my classroom with something that would immediately grab my students' attention, so I turned to technology. For this project, I decided to explore the use of three specific types of technology: the interactive whiteboard, podcasts, and YouTube. I especially worked to incorporate the interactive whiteboard because it was an immediate way to better engage my students. I liked the idea of podcasting because I only see my students every 4 days, and this makes a great way for the content to become available to them when they're not in my room. And finally, YouTube was a great way to make performances come alive for my students without having to leave the school. These three types of technology will enable the visual, oral, and kinesthetic learners to be better engaged in the content. The purpose of my research is to determine if the use of technology is effective in my elementary music classroom. To determine this, I had two research questions. First, I needed to determine if there was a difference between test scores of students who were instructed using technology and then those who were not. The operational definitions of variables for this research question are outlined on the Prezi. My independent variable is the instructional unit including technology versus the traditional method, and my dependent variable is the unit pre- and post-test scores. I also established this research question: how does using technology such as the interactive whiteboard affect learning in the elementary music classroom? This research has a personal importance to me because I want to know if the time and effort that I put into making the lessons and units that include technology is truly worth it. This research could also be used to prove to my administrators why technology in my fine arts classroom is just as beneficial as that in the core classroom. The research completed in this study is done to improve my own classroom only. This is called action research. This means that I am conducting the research to determine the effectiveness of technology use in my own classroom, and then I'll draw conclusions based on those results. For my project, I chose to test my fourth grade students. They come to me in homeroom classes, so that's how I chose to group them. It was nice and easy. Group 1, the group that will receive traditional instruction, had 20 participants, while Group 2, the group that received instruction that included technology, had 19 participants. To answer the research questions that I proposed, I collected pre-test scores from my participant groups and then conducted semi-structured interviews. I actually just received notification from HSRB that my project is considered true action research, so I can finally continue on with my data collection. My post-test scores have not been collected as of now, but I will update you as they come in. So even though I did not collect my post-test data yet, I gave my students their pre-test because I normally would have done that at the beginning of the year anyway. I analyzed the pre-test data from group number 1, which is the group that will eventually receive the traditional instruction before the post-test, using descriptive statistics. The results are shown on your table. The mean of this group of scores was 13.15, the median was 12, and the range was 24. On this table, you will see the results of the statistics of Group 2's pretest scores. The mean was 12.68, the median was 14, and the range was 25. Because the pretest scores of the two groups are very similar, I know that they're starting out with the same basic knowledge of the content. To answer my second research question, how does using technology such as the interactive whiteboard affect learning in the elementary music classroom, I conducted semi-structured interviews with two local elementary music teachers who use a lot of technology in their classroom. After completing the interviews, transcribing them, and analyzing the transcripts, I found 4 common themes touched upon by both teachers. Since including technology in their daily lessons, they find that the students are more focused and that they, as teachers, give better formative assessments. They both stated that the transitions during class are smoother, which is something that I hope to improve in my own room. Along with these instructional benefits, both teachers stated that using their interactive whiteboard has made their lives so much easier because their video clips, games, and listening examples are now in one place. Although I have not completed my project, I am really excited to collect this post-test data and analyze it in StatCrunch. Once I have all of that analyzed, I will run a t-test of independent samples to compare the post-test scores of the two groups to determine if the use of technology had an effect on their test scores. So even though I can't come to a definite conclusion, here is my hypothesis. The use of technology in my elementary music classroom proved to be effective in improving my students' test scores in this study, and I will definitely update you as I finish my project. The limitations of my study come in that it is a single study in my own classroom, and I will need to conduct further action research to prove or disprove my findings once they are complete. If my hypothesis is true, I will continue to make a conscious effort to use various technology tools as an integral part of my lesson plans. Lessons that I create in the future will include a technology tool. I will also share the study with my administrators to show that music lends itself to using technology just as much as the core curriculum. I will also conduct additional action research studies to prove or disprove this theory, and I'll make sure that those studies vary in age range, in grade level, unit content, and classroom setting. As for my personal thoughts on conducting research, I truly believe action research is a great, easy way to evaluate my own teaching. I did not do anything extra except for formally crunching the numbers and writing the report that I would not have done in my normal classroom setting. I would also love to collaborate with another teacher to complete an action research project of a similar nature. And finally, here is the list of my references that I included in my action research report. Thank you.